YouTube, what's going on? It's Tijon, aka Top Cyberdog, and I'm back with a new video for the new year, 2025. Now, before we get into the video, I know I'm inside, I'm wearing shades. My eyes are a little sensitive today. And in the TCD studios, it's big budget, lights everywhere, but the work still has to get done, so I'm here. So, as I've done in the previous year, working on LetsDefend SOC alerts, we're going to continue that going into 2025, being more consistent, pumping out more alerts, and getting better each and every day, just by 1%. So we're going to hop over into the SOC, pick us out an alert, and get right into it. Thank you guys for sticking with me so far. Again, I appreciate the support so much. We just recently achieved and earned our CompTIA CISA Plus certification. So definitely expect a breakdown video of that coming soon. But until then, let's hop over to the SOC and get right into it. All right, so we are in our mock SOC environment, and we have some alerts that fired off from our SIM. And let's take a look at a critical alert, something important. Let's see. Traffic to malware domain. Okay, this one looks good. So we'll go ahead and take ownership of the alert. Once we do that, it's going to move the alert over into our investigation channel. And there we can see, voila, SOC111 traffic to malware domain. Like I always say in my previous alerts, I like to have a Word document open up in another window where I can copy the alert details, just so I have them ready to go as I go about the investigation, because you will be jumping back and forth to different log sources, Google searches, just to do some vetting of the IP addresses that we have in our alert. So as we can see, the source address 172.16.17.45, and the source host name is Richard PRD, assuming for production, and the source address reached out to the destination address of 5.135.143.133, and the host name of that address is andalusiabeach.net, and it looks like they requested the URL of an image network.exe for the andalusiabeach.net site. And this was done through Mozilla, so I'm assuming Firefox, and it was allowed. Okay, so we got that copied over. So let's go ahead and create a case. All right, once the case is created, we can see in case management, we can begin our playbook. And as we can see, the first play in our playbook is to collect the source address, destination address, and the user agent. And like I said, we already have the info from our alert copied over in a Word document, so we already have that logged. So let's hit next. Now, the next play is to go through log management and to see what was being communicated in our logs. So we'll go ahead and change tabs. All right. And let's do a search. Let's query a search for the destination address. Type, we'll go destination address, the operator contains, and then we'll go ahead and paste that. And boom, we have one event from our query. We'll click on that for the details, and we can see that it correlates to our alert. But we do have some more info, such as the process, parent process, and the MD5 for the parent process. Now this process, I have no idea what this is, but I want to copy it because we'll do a quick Google search. And it was done with under the parent process of Excel. And this is the MD5 for Excel. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to Google and paste that in and see. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so the description for this is, this indicates an attack attempt to exploit a code execution vulnerability in Microsoft Office. The vulnerability is due to an error when the executable handles a maliciously crafted equation. A remote attacker may be able to exploit this to execute arbitrary code within the context of the application via a created Office file. Okay, so this is no bueno. Just off of that description. Okay. So we can confirm that this happened on our network. Let's go ahead and go to the endpoint. All right, so we have now found our endpoint Richard PRD. And we can see that the endpoint is not contained yet. But okay. We can see right here that the endpoint ran the executable file on the date that correlates to our event. And okay, let's go to browser history. We can see the user visited the web page. Okay, I'm not liking this so far, so we're gonna just go ahead and contain this right now. All right, the host is contained. And we'll hit next. Now let's analyze the URL address for our next play. So let's go ahead and copy the destination address, and we'll go ahead and go over to VirusTotal and run a search. All right, so VirusTotal has come back with a clean report saying that the IP address is coming from France and it was last analyzed 2 days ago. All right, so this doesn't necessarily mean that whatever's going on with our endpoint is non-malicious. It still could be bad. So let's continue on and do a search on a different site just to cross-reference. All right, so we do have more details, such as where this IP address was coming from and the usage type, such as its data center and what city that data center lives in. I'm not even gonna attempt that, but somewhere in France. All right, so it wasn't found in the database. I want to do another search. Let's not do that. Hold on. Go back. Paste the IP. All right, so this is neutral as well. Let's go back to VirusTotal. And then now we're going to analyze the requested URL. check this out. Okay. So the requested URL has been flagged as malicious by 14 security vendors. Okay. So that adds to our case that this is malicious. All right. So we can definitely say after analyzing the requested URL, this is malicious. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then the next play, has anyone accessed the IP/URL/domain? We already went into the endpoint and observed that they visited the website as well as ran that Excel code that was malicious, allowing the user to run arbitrary code, well, the attacker anyway. So we can definitely select access. We've already contained the endpoint, so we can click on next. Now we can add the artifacts that we collected in the investigation to solidify our case. So we'll definitely go ahead and place the requested URL that was malicious. Go ahead and defang that. Requested URL. Plus sign to add. And then we'll still go ahead and place the IP address for the domain. All right, I believe that's all we should need for the artifacts. Let's see. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, let's go ahead and see if we can view the web page actually too. So we'll pause that for a quick second. Copy that link. Now we don't want to run this on our actual system, host system that we're using to investigate. We definitely want to use some kind of proxy to keep us protected. So let's go ahead. We can use something like this. We'll test it on some kind of Windows 10 machine running Chrome. And we'll see what the actual site looks like if it does have anything. Just out of curiosity, I'm curious what it looks like. Okay, so it looks like you have to have some kind of credentials, admin credentials to access the site. So that doesn't help its case of it being non-malicious. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll go back, hit next. And then I've already jotted down the notes. Paste that in. All right. On January 31st, 2021 at 4:15 p.m., it was identified that the malicious activity involved the use of the equation editor with that EQNEDT32.exe as part of the attack. The parent process xl.exe indicates that the malicious payload was likely delivered through a malicious Microsoft Excel document. This technique leveraged the equation editor vulnerability, which has been documented exploiting/executing arbitrary code. All right, so we'll finish the playbook. Hit next. Once we do that, we're then brought back over to the investigation channel where we can move forward with the alert. So now we can close the alert and we can definitely confirm that this was a true positive. And in my previous investigations, I always copy the analyst notes to the closed alert. And we'll close the alert and see what the results are. Ooh, confetti dropped. That's good news. Now we're brought over to the streak continues. We're still working. Let's close this. We're brought over to the closed alert section, and then we can see the details of our alert. Had to load for a second, and we can see that we knocked this out of the park with 100% everything green, and we can now be done with that alert. So that's it for the alert today. Thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Ask any questions in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.